Hi everyone, it's Hazel from Learn, Grow, Transform, and another Facebook Live. So I'm just switching my phone to silent. Done. Okay. I'm Hazel from Learn, Grow, Transform, and my business helps small business owners realise what they can do in their business and what they need to do in their business to make sure that they are being found, that they are finding their target market, and that they are utilising everything out there that can ensure that their business moves forward. Now, I've spoken in the past about sort of setting up your social media and what platforms and how to sort of work out which ones are for you. And I've spoken about time. Today, I thought I would talk about something that's dear to my heart, which is networking and connecting and collaborating and finding how you can make the most out of all of those things, now online and offline. So it really is very essential to your business because you need both of those things. Networking offline, you immediately think of, I've got to go and join a networking group. Yes, you do. A networking group comes in a variety of forms, and what you need to think about with your networking groups is your budget, accessibility for you, like, you need to commit to things. So can you commit to a early morning start at 7 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning? Not everybody is going to be able to, so that might mean that is something that you can't do. But for some people who are in possibly the building industry or something, they will find that going to a networking thing early in the morning is just exactly what they need. But what you need to think about is also, do the networking groups that you are looking at, do they offer trial visits? Can you go once? Can you go twice? Can you afford like the joining fee and then maybe a monthly fee? You need to think about all those things in your business, because remember, you're a small business. Now, not all small business owners can afford a large amount of money. And you also then really need to think about your target market. What is your target market? So is your target market parents in general, other business owners, just male or female, it doesn't matter. So you need to think about which one, because there are lots of networking things out there, and I'm doing this Facebook Live obviously for Laurel Leaf, and it is a fantastic platform because you are able to connect with male and female business owners. And for a number of businesses, that's probably exactly where they need to be. So then and also she has a great online group and Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram and all those things where business owners can connect via other ways, not just face to face. So you need to think about those sort of things when you're thinking about networking, because there's some great women's groups out there that meet at lunchtime, they meet in the morning, they have coffee mornings, they do different things. That might be where you need to be too. And you know what? You can be on one or two or three. It depends on what your budget will allow, what your time will allow, and, is it where you need to be? So you need to really be thinking about what you need in your networking. Don't ever assume that you are always just going to walk into a meeting and get some work straight back, because unfortunately that's not always going to happen. It might, and that's great if it does, but it's not always going to happen. What you need to do is build up a rapport with those people around you that you are connecting with at a network. And then once you've done that, have a one-to-one, which if those that might not quite understand, because when I came from Australia, if someone said, you need to have a one-to-one, and I'm like, what is a one-to-one? It means you go off and you just meet somebody. So there's just two of you having a meeting for maybe an hour. It can be via Skype or in person, and you just find out more about their business and they find out more about yours, because that will then allow you to find out more than you may do in a 45-second or 60-second intro about your business. So that's another way to start learning more about someone else and building a rapport and a trust. Now, once you do all these things, you go to networking things, you suddenly get all these business cards, you bring them home, you put them in a drawer, or you put them on your desk or in a tray. Don't just do that, because if you just put business cards away, then how do you know exactly whether you could use that person's service or you can refer to them? if you just put them away, what's the point in actually taking them? Remember, it costs money to create business cards. So when you come home from or go back to your office from a business card, from a networking thing, get your business card and write down, okay, this is where I met them. This is who they were. What did they say? Did they stand out? What did, write down a quick little note on the corner or on the back or whatever of this business card. Then if you have a VA or a PA, or you even have time to do it yourself, then when you go to your database and you go onto your computer and you you input this business card into your database or your CRM system, and you put a follow-up. And you say, okay, I'd like to follow up with this person. Am I going to see them at the next networking thing, or should I meet them by themselves? Should we just have a quick coffee? In the past, I've done Skype things. So we've gone and said, right, we're going to catch up at 9 o'clock in the 10 o'clock in the morning. They get a coffee, I get a coffee. We just sit there and we have a Skype. It's just really quick and easy. You don't have to leave your office, and you can actually discuss about your businesses together. So, but make sure that you always write down where you met the people and put it in your database, because you just never know when that person may actually end up being a great referral for you. You just need somebody like that, or you can refer back to them. So think about those sort of things. And always have your business cards with you. I'll give you a great example. In Australia, an old colleague of mine said to me she was stuck in a traffic jam in Australia, and she ended up in her car next to a van that had painters and decorators and a name on it on the side of the van. She just happened to need a painter and decorator for her home. So she sort of got their attention. They wound down their window, and she sort of said, listen, do you work in my area? And they said, yes, we do. And so they gave her a business card. And then because they were sitting in traffic, there's nothing else to do, they turned around and said to her, well, what do you do? And she said, I'm a business coach. So these people suddenly connected. She handed the business card because that's exactly the state of business that they were in, and they needed to grow and they wanted some more information. In that split second, because they both had business cards and could exchange them, when I think it was like a week later, a business was exchanged. She got a quote, she used them, they got a quote, they used her, and, it was amazing. But that was all because they were sitting in a traffic jam, nowhere to move, and they had business cards to exchange. So business cards are great to have in your wallet, in your pocket, at the back of your phone. There's a lot of phones now have these sort of things. So, you can put them in your phone pocket, have them in your car. Just think about where it is you are mostly operating from and have some on hand. The other thing that's really important, and what I think as well, is that in business, you've got friends, you've got family, you've got people that you used to work with maybe, that you currently work with, and you might be doing your business on starting your business on the side, so you only work part-time and then you're doing your business. You might have other people that you feel like you can trust. Do they really know what you do in your business? For a small business owner, it's important to utilize everything and everybody that you know. And so does your parents know exactly what you do? Do your siblings? Do your best friends? Most people will know a little bit about what you offer, but they don't always go to your website. They're not all going to, they've got other things to do as well. So if you can elaborate to them about where you are in your business, what you offer, what packages, what services, what products, you just never know who they know. And that's really important because they trust you already. There's a trust and rapport that you don't even have to create because it's just there. And they will have other connections. So what you need to think about is, make sure they've got business cards too, by the way. But like another example that I've got from Australia, this lady who lived in Sydney, her grandmother was in Victoria in Australia, and she finally got around to sort of having a sit down with her grandmother and talking to her about what she does and all that sort of thing. And then she got a call completely out of the blue about a month later from this really top level CEO of a business in Victoria. And they said, oh, we've been talking with your grandmother. We've known her for so many years, blah, blah, blah. And she was saying, my granddaughter does blah, 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 blah. And suddenly there was an into this great corporation that she would never have even imagined approaching, let alone being able to have any, introductions into or anything else. She's now worked with that company for many years. And, I think she's really one of their top consultants, and all because she told her grandmother what she did. So you've got a bigger network out there than you absolutely realise. So you need to think about, your networking and what groups are relevant to you to reach your target market. Then you need to think about who you know. So who do you know? And most of us will know lots and lots of people who trust us already, and we're not utilising what they can do for us. And it comes back a little bit to, years and years and years ago when you used to go for a job, who do you know? Well, in networking and creating your businesses and making your businesses work for you, it really does come back to that. Who do you know? Because that's really important too. So think about it, that sort of thing, when you're talking to yourself and mind mapping your business out, get yourself a piece of paper, write in the middle of it, family, and then put little things out, write all their names, and then say, do they know I do all these things? Tick, 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 all the way around once you've done it, and ask them, do you know somebody who can help me? And if you have a really clear an idea of what your target market is, which is really important anyway in your business. But if you have, let's just say, that you want to speak to a female accountant who only deals with small business owners in a certain area, like, you only want to deal with North London, then you're being very, very specific. And then you can say, do you know anybody like that? Is your accountant somebody that I can speak to? So think about how you can portray that, utilising everything and everybody in your life, because they are your network as well. You don't necessarily think that initially, but that is the case. So then, okay, so now we've moved on from that a little bit, and you've sorted out your business cards, and you know that you've got to look after them, and you don't necessarily have to keep them then, because you've actually put them into a database. There's other people as well that I know that sort of don't collect business cards, or if they collect a business card, they put them into their phone straight away under a group, and then they know that, through Laurel Leaf or whatever, I've met these people, this is what they do. Because remember, it's about giving as well. The more you give, the more you'll get back. So if you realise that you can refer a painter, or you can refer a plumber, or you can refer a web designer, or you can refer a graphic designer, or you can refer a bookkeeper, because of all the networking you've done, those people will then come back to help you in your business, because it's a collaboration. Networking is not just about, you giving, you receiving. It's about giving as well. And you need to work. Oh, don't know what's happened there. My computer's gone a bit funny. I don't know if you can still see me. Can you still see me? Not sure. Laurel, I can't hear. Can you still see me? Because my computer screen's gone funny. Maybe it'll come back. Anyway, I look a bit funny, so I don't know what everyone else can see, but from my end I look a bit kind of weird. Okay, so Laurel says you can still see me. From my end it looks a bit fuzzy. I don't quite know what's going on. Anyway, so what I would suggest is that you think about all those things first, and then we go on to online networking. So essentially what you're doing is you've got, like, your networking groups, and if they've got access to online groups, online pages, etc., then you can think to yourself, okay, that's a good group to be part of, because I can join online things with them as well and contribute to answering questions, showcase my yeah, I don't know, Laurel. I know I've got a strange green. I don't know what it is. But if you can still see me, then that's all right. But anyway, so then what we need to do is think about what you're doing online. So is your online marketing working for you? That's better, I think. So is your online marketing working for you? Now, that is a variety of social media, and I did do a Facebook Live on this before, but networking online in conjunction with networking offline is very important. So let's just say you have somebody, you know, you're being very consistent. Every day you're posting on Facebook, on your Facebook page, or if you're in a group, whatever, then you're being very consistent with your Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is you're on. You may not get anybody commenting that they want to use your services for a while. And it does happen. You might have somebody who clicks their fingers and says, right, I need you right now. Please, can you come back to me with a quote? You may not have anybody for months. And I've got an example of that. I posted all the things that I was doing and offering and education-wise and everything else for about a year. And then I got a message from this person who I knew had liked my Facebook page for a long, long time. She came back and she said to me, I've decided that after all of this time, I want to use your service. And I said, what do you mean after all this time? And she said, I want to use your service because I've been following what you do and I like what you do. And although I could have possibly used you about, 6 months ago, I just still wasn't sure. I've been following to make sure that you are the right person for me to work with. And I like your style. I like the way you speak. I like the way you come across. Now, I actually had never met this person, but they had been following what I was doing throughout my Facebook page and realized that I was the person that they wanted to help them while they went off on their business holiday, to help them get through 2 or 3 months worth of time. So, and that led into a fantastic job. So I ended up helping them do their procedures manuals for me to be then able to help them do their work. So in just never know who's watching. So that leads me to the fact that not only do you have to be you when you post on your pages, but you have to be educational, you have to be informative, and you have to be professional. If you're going to suddenly create a page where you're talking about your kids and everything else and it's got absolutely nothing to do with your business, then you are not going to come across as professional. So online networking can be as valuable as your offline networking. What you need to do is realize that, let's just say, for example, you get a message from somebody on your Facebook or Instagram, or you get a direct message on Twitter, or even, through LinkedIn. And that person sort of wants to connect with you. Then go, yay, I want to connect with them as well. And then work out a great way to, meet with them. It might be via Skype again. It might be for a coffee. But, whatever you're acting like and whatever you're portraying online, when you meet this person, you still need to be as professional offline as you have been online. So whatever you're doing throughout your entire networking, and the marketing of your business and everything else needs to be branded correctly. It needs to be professional, and you need to think to yourself, okay, I'm ready to turn around and say, right, I'm going to meet with this potential client. Not necessarily going to get a job, but meeting with them is like the first step. So you've kind of given them the insight into Facebook or whatever, and then you sort of say, right, now they've sent me a message. So that's my next level. And then from my next level, it's like, okay, now I'm going to meet them. Then I've met them. Then you need to put them in the database, and then you need to go from the database and say, right, let's just follow up and do it quietly and calmly. Maybe do it sort of, set up a time in a month's time just to touch base and say, hi, how are you? Just wanted to just following up on our coffee catch up or whatever it was. But you never know, because in that meantime, in that month, they might have contacted you and said, hi, it was fantastic to meet you. We're ready to speak again. Let's come into my office or whatever. So you need to think to yourself, okay, these are the things that I need to do for my business, whether it's networking, finding out whether you can budget for it, whether you can, turn around and sort of, link them both, because it's really important to try and link. You know, I've had people turn around to me and say, oh, I know you, I saw you all the time, you're posting on such and such as, you know, Facebook page, or, you know, and you kind of go, oh, okay, they know me, and they actually value what I'm giving them in terms of information. So always be aware that you are being seen not only offline, but you're also being seen online in whatever you do. So be very aware of all the things that you're doing in your business, because, you know, you could say one little thing that upsets, and then you will find that it won't help your business. So you need to think about all those things. And, you know, in my opinion, if you're new to a place, or, you know, you just feel like, oh, my business is like slacked off a bit, I don't really know where I need to go, sometimes you will find the best people to help you in supporting, whether it's, you know, through a Facebook page and asking a question, going into a group and saying, look, I'm really stuck and I just don't know what to do. You will find somebody through a network that will help you. So you don't need to do it alone. And you know, for me as a small business trainer and owner, I just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my business has come a long way because of the fact that I've managed to network, whether it was in Australia or whether it's since I moved to the UK. You realise that you need to speak with people who are like-minded, who want to grow their businesses just the same as you do. And I've also found that when you first start in a business, sometimes you can like kind of barter your businesses and your services. So, you know, you might offer bookkeeping. When I first started my business, I swapped services, a bookkeeper, and I did virtual assistants. And that was a way of us both keeping growing our businesses without having to fork out lots and lots of money. So that can be another way of working through what you need to do. And I think, you know, you need to realise in your business too that sometimes you just need to learn something new. And that's why I started my business, because I want people to learn about their business, learn how to operate, and look down in their business and go, this is what I need to do, this is what I'm doing wrong. And that does include networking, that does include marketing. And you have to kind of go, okay, to learn something new, I need to find the right person to teach me that. I mean, it's like going out to, you know, in your personal life and saying, right, I've got a leaking tap and I don't know what to do. So do you learn it yourself and spend hours looking at Google, or do you find somebody who can either come and teach you how to do it, which is probably quite a rare occurrence, but do you find somebody, or do you just pay someone to come and do it? You know, but in business, we suddenly, all of us, every single business owner I know is overwhelmed with all the different things that we need to do in our business. If you come from a corporate environment, all of a sudden, these people that were doing all this work for you are no longer there. You have to do it yourself. So in order to do it for yourself, you need to find people who help you and can collaborate with you and can help you find the confidence in yourself to move your business forward. And the biggest way and the best way to do that is by networking, whether it's offline, finding the right groups, or online, where you are always trying to educate, be informative, but also being informed. But you can only do that when you actually find the right groups for you. And then, I mean, on Facebook alone, there's so many groups. Which one do you join? I know, but the best way to do that, the same with the networking thing, is to give it a try. If it's not working, then don't keep that as a group that you're part of. If you keep keeping things that are not working for you, then A, you're wasting your time, B, wasting money, and C, it's no point, because you're not getting the support that you need. So there's lots of tips and tricks to networking. And for anybody that's actually listening right now, you are already part of an amazing network. So, and you need to keep that up, but keep realizing that nobody's just going to give you something. You need to be able to give back. And sometimes you've got to give in the first place, and you might not actually receive anything straight away. But it's all a give and take. It's all a learning curve, and it's all a matter of time. And it's a matter of saying, okay, I'm here to grow my business, and I need to use all the aspects out there to help me do that. So if I can help you in any shape or form with setting up your database, helping you get sorted with your online marketing and networking and all that sort of stuff, then I'm here for you. If you need really help with sort of what you do with networking, I can guide you as a mentor or whatever. But also the lovely Laurel Eve is also here to help you do all of that through her network. So I would really love to help you in the future. And, I'm here and you can speak to me. So Hazel at Learn, Grow, Transform, helping you learn something new, grow your business and transform you. And I hope you have a wonderful day and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye.